episode is sponsored by Go Freak Yourself Unless You're Autistic. It's a website where you can go freak yourself unless you're autistic. Because let's face it, unless you're autistic, you're incapable of being pure of heart because you're unholy. So, anyways, moving on from that, let's get to the topic of this video, and that is Nikocado Avocado. I'm specifically going after him, alright, and really just mukbangers and mukbangs as a whole. Alright, and look, a lot of different YouTubers have been making videos on him, because, I mean, he's a cash cow. He's a literal cash cow. I mean, he's the size of a cow. So, I mean, you know, and I'd be lying if I said that, you know, I wasn't doing this for views, because, I mean, that's the whole point, you know? It's like, that's why anybody really talks about him. But I think I have a special position in all this, because, believe it or not, I am actually a victim of the mukbang paradigm. That's right. Because last year I actually made not one but 2 mukbang videos, and you can go watch them at the thing I'm pointing at. Yeah, and they tricked me into making those mukbang videos. They tricked me into thinking it was cool and a good idea, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It wasn't my fault. I was forced to do it against my will. And yeah, and now I'm ashamed. I have to live with that shame. I mean, I could simply delete those videos, but I'm not going to. I'm not that kind of person anymore. Because I have evolved beyond that. I don't delete my videos anymore. I'm not like, you know, Sammy Classic Sonic fan. I'm the Sammy Classic Sonic fan now. So, the "the" is important. So, I have a list here. 6 reasons why Nikocado is terrible. He's just a terrible, he's a worse mukbanger and just a terrible as a human being in general. Oh, and check it. I drew, like, Knuckles and Piccolo. They're like yeah, that's like gonna fight or something. And I also drew, like, Robotnik and Frieza. They're like, anyways, let's dive into this list, right? So, I have 6 reasons. The first reason is probably the most, you know, probably the main reason, because that's just ultimately what it boils down to, and that's he is fat and doesn't care. Like, that's literally his catchphrase. He's fat and doesn't care. Well, besides, like, oh, it's just water, right? It's just water, right? No, it's, and you know what? He doesn't even care that he's morbidly obese, and I hate that. I hate that, because, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be skinny? You know, that everybody should want to be skinny. I just don't get it. I mean, look at me. Like, why wouldn't you want to look like me? Like, okay, admittedly, I do look a little bit chubby right now. In fact, I should probably go on a strict diet, but that's besides the point. All right, like, being skinny is like the ultimate state of being. So, like, you know, and like, he says that he's just doing it for views. So it's like, okay, well, why don't you just quit YouTube and, like, be a violinist? Just saying. I wish I could be a violinist. Okay, so yeah, he is fat. All right, and fat is evil. It's a sin. It's a sin in the Bible. Gluttony is a sin. I have the Bible right here. All right, it's one of the 10 commandments. Don't be fat. Well, okay, maybe not the 10 commandments, but still says it. It still says being fat is a sin. So, yeah. America claims to be a country of God. Well, then why are so many Americans fat? Think about that. Okay, reason number 2. He is gross. it's gross to eat a lot of food on camera. I wish I had never done that now, because it's just like ew, like at least I put a healthy spin on it, and I have an excuse because I'm skinny. All right, I actually can get away with that because, like, yeah, I need the nutrients. Whereas with him, like, he could probably not eat anything for a year and be perfectly fine. Seriously, like it's just gross, and it like the food that he eats, it's all like fast food, greasy food. Like, how can you eat that all the time? I need to have like variety. It can't just be like the same stuff all the time, especially if it's like something that's really difficult to digest, such as fast food. So, yeah, like this guy, I just like what kind of logic is that? And it's just gross. Like he farts on camera, like blatantly. He's like, "Oh, Bryce, 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 Bryce." Like, come on, come on. Yeah. So reason number 3, he is too flamboyant. He acts like a stereotypical gay person. All right, and okay, look, I don't have anything against gay people. All right, okay, maybe in the past I kind of like supported Trump, and also said that homosexuality is possibly mental illness, but I don't stand by those things anymore. So that sort of negates it. It doesn't really matter that I said those things, because I don't stand by it anymore. I don't agree with it anymore. So yeah, but it's just like he's just too stereotypically gay. It's just annoying, like just the way he talks, and just the way he acts. It's just like, I can't even stand this guy. Can't even tolerate. Like, if I knew this guy in real life, I would avoid him at all costs. And yeah, that actually leads into my next reason for why he sucks, and that is because he overindulges in worldly and sensual pleasure. All right, did you know that Nikocado has an OnlyFans? An OnlyFans. That is just repulsive. And it's not just because he's fat. Okay, well, I mean, that's 50% of why. But the reason why it's also repulsive is because OnlyFans as a whole is just a disgrace. Like, I can't believe I live in a world where this is acceptable. Like, people exposing themselves for money? Wow, wow. Wow! All right. Have you ever read the Bible? All right, it says in the Bible, like 100 times, that pornography is bad. All right, and I know that because I go to church. All right, it's probably in like Deuteronomy or some shit like that. But yeah, I just, like, people need to keep up with their biblical studies so that they'll realize pornography is bad. And then that way we can outlaw pornography, just as we should outlaw, like, certain other things that are, like blasphemy, like teaching evolution and stuff like that. So, yeah, and that's not the only way he indulges in worldly pleasures. He's obsessed with money. He's obsessed with making money. He cheats on his husband, and he's frank about that. And Orlin doesn't even care. Orlin is just as bad as Nikocado. Yeah, I mean, at least he kind of like is trying to lose weight, but I mean, for all I know, that could just be BS. So, sorry, I drink diet soda, not regular soda with carbs in it. All right, you should be taking notes, Nikocado. Like, drink diet soda. You know, it has 0 calories. So, like, what are you doing, man? Don't be drinking that regular soda. What a normie thing to do. Like everybody should be it. Regular soda should also be outlawed. You know. But anyways, yeah, and number 5, reason number 5. He is mean to everyone. Everyone he is mean to. He's mean to his husband. He's mean to his fans. He insults his fans. Like, okay, I've insulted my fans, but I would never insult you guys now. Well, okay, I kind of did just call you guys frickin' fricks for not being autistic, but well, I'm contractually obligated to say that because of my sponsorship. But it's just, yeah, and like, even when he's like picking up food from the restaurants that he goes to, he'll like be a Karen and complain that he got something wrong. I don't do that. If they get my order wrong, I just suck it up and deal with it, because it's just like, you know, it's not a big deal. You know, if I paid, okay, maybe if I like paid $10 for something and it wasn't there, then yeah, then we would have a problem. But other than that, you know, like, it's pretty easy to get that shit resolved. You don't have to be a bitch about it. So, yeah, so reason number 6, he is a blatant faker who's only out for moolah. And that's, you know, that's the, you know, perfect way to conclude my argument for him being a terrible human being. I mean, I already said that he, like, overindulges in the worldly pleasures, but you know what? It's just obvious that he's an actor. He's just a character. He's not even like a genuine person, you know? Like, he's just like all the things I mentioned about him being overly flamboyant and, you know, being mean. It's like, that's just what he does to get in the maximal amount of views. And I know this as a YouTuber who is experienced with trying to get views. You know, that's what gets views. Getting angry, ranting. All right, I know this. I know this stuff. I know this crap. So, I'm laying on my I'm laying in these clothes now. Because I just wanted to. I haven't. I really need to put these clothes away. So I'm done with this video now. Actually, Nikocado, if you're watching this, yeah, I'm your biggest fan. All right, I love you, but I hate you. But I love you, but I hate you. But I love you, but I hate you. But I love you. Oh, actually, I wasn't really finished. I have some guests, on this episode who I can interview, about Nikocado, and, well, they're not really guests, they're, like, permanent guests, because they're not allowed to leave my site, ever. So, but yeah, I have Sonic. He's my first, guy who I'm gonna interview, so, what are your thoughts on Nikocado? Am I being too hard on him? No, not at all. You're being perfectly fair, because you know, it's as I say, you gotta go fast, and Nikocado, he can't go fast. He's too fat to go fast, so he gets no pity from me. Thank you, Sonic. I agree. As for my next guest, we have my dog Ginger, who was kind of sitting next to me earlier. Are you gonna look at the camera, or you're just gonna do that? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. It's just you're on my show, so you have to be paying attention. So Ginger, what are your thoughts on Nikocado?
Oh, well, he's fat, and he eats so much, he just gorges himself, and, I find that funny and miserable.
That's what Ginger sounds like. Well, Ginger, don't you gorge yourself? I mean, you kind of eat just like Nikocado sometimes.
Well, I have an excuse, because I'm skinny. I mean, look at me. I'm like 30 pounds.
Well, yeah, that I suppose that is a valid reason. I'm like 130 pounds, but yeah, I'm still thin, I guess. So, anyways, we're done. We're done. Nikocado, I piss upon you, Nikocado. Spiritually, I piss upon you. Obviously, I can't like physically just go there and piss on you because I don't live in Florida and I don't want to get arrested. So, yeah, toodaloo.